Hello everyone, I'm Paul and this is problem 2069, Walking Robot Simulation 2. This is a medium one, and next I will show you a reasonably intuitive and efficient solution, so let's start. We are given a 2D plane with the robot at the bottom left cell, meaning at the coordinate 0, 0. So let's say that we are given this, here is the robot, and we can instruct this robot to move some amount of steps. For every step, it attempts to move forward one cell in the direction it's facing, which is initially east, meaning this direction. So if we move 2 steps and we start here, well, next we are here. Now, if the cell the robot is moving to is out of bounds, the robot turns left. If we decide to move 6 steps, for example, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and for the last step, now we are out of bounds. So the robot instead turns left and moves here, okay? Our job is here. We need to implement the robot class. This has a constructor and 3 methods: step, get position, and get direction. For step, we take a number and we instruct the robot to move forward that amount of steps. For get position, this returns the current cell the robot is at, and get direction returns the current direction, which can be either north, east, south, or west. These 2 methods, get position and get direction, are relatively simple. We can have the current coordinates in the constructor. We'll say that x and y are initially 0 and 0. So now we can get the position in big O of 1. And for the direction, we have d in the constructor, and this is equal to east, or more specifically 0, because we are using numbers for directions in the constructor. You will see why in a few seconds. Now the tricky part here is this method, step. Let's say that we call step with a small number. Let's say that this is 3, for example. The current position is 0, 0, so we are here. We need to move 3 steps in the current direction. 0 corresponds to east, so we are moving 3 steps to the right. Next, we are here. And this is fine. Up to this moment, this looks simple. Let's say that we are given a larger number. Let's say that this is 6. We start from 0, 0, so here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we are out of bounds, so we can change this direction to 1, which corresponds to north, and now we take the last step and we are here. Now, what if we're given a very large number? Let's say that this is 2357. We know that the size of this grid is given by these 2 variables, so this is a relatively small grid and this is a very large number. If we start here, we will end up surrounding this grid a lot of times. And as you may guess, this is very inefficient. So how can we avoid this? Let's say that we call step with the number 16 and we start from this cell. We basically have 2 choices. We can decide to move 16 steps forward and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and end up here. Or we can avoid this repeated work and do the number that we are given modulo the perimeter of the grid. Here we have 6 cells down here, up here we have 6 cells, and here we have 2 more cells. 6 plus 6 plus 2 is 14, so the perimeter is 14. The result is 2. And now this is way more efficient. We start here and we can move 2 cells to the right. We end up in the same position and this is way more efficient. Now the final question is, how do we get the perimeter of the grid that we are given? Remember that we have these 2 variables, width and height. So we can take the width, meaning these 6 cells, times 2 to get these 6 cells, plus the height minus 2 because of these corners, we don't want to repeat cells, times 2. So the final formula is width times 2 plus height minus 2 because of the corners times 2. Okay, that's how we get the perimeter. And there's one final thing that I would like to mention. Let's say that we call step with number 14. We know that the perimeter of the grid is 14, so if we do 14 modulo 14, this is equal to 0. Maybe you are thinking about returning right away. The problem is that here we are facing right. And if we are given this number, well, we should end up here and we are coming from above, so we should be facing down. This means that if we take the number that we are given, 14 modulo the perimeter, and this is equal to 0, we have to run one lap, okay? This is very important. That's how we end up facing down in this case, which is what we want. Now, if we are given step with number 0, well, here we can return right away and keep the same direction, which is east in this case. Time complexity here is given by the perimeter basically, which is big O of width plus height. Okay, this is technically width times 2 and height minus 2 times 2, so this is overall width plus height. And space complexity is big O of 1. So with this in mind, now let's see how to code this up. X and Y are initially 0 and 0, and we need an array for new directions. This is an array with one tuple per direction, and we need to start from east. In this case, we add 1 to X and 0 to Y. Next, we have north, in which case we add 0 to X and 1 to Y. Next, we have west, and this is minus 1, 0, and for south, we use 0, minus 1. And just to be clear, these are east, north, west, and south in this order. And we need to start from east, so the initial direction is 0. We can say that self.width is width, and self.height is height. Okay, and here we need to use self everywhere. Here we need the same. Now we can continue with this method step. We check if the number that we are given is equal to 0, we return right away. There's no need to do anything here. Else, we can say that the total perimeter is equal to self.width times 2, and here we need to add self.height minus 2 times 2. Remember that we have to subtract 2 because of the corners. We don't want to repeat cells. And now we can say number that we are given modulo equal total. And we can check if the new number is equal to 0, the number is equal to total. That's how we make sure that we end up in the right direction. Now we can iterate the perimeter the remaining amount of steps. So we can say for I in range the remaining number, every time the new X and new Y are equal to self.x plus self.directions at self.the current direction 0, and let me copy this. For Y we use self.y plus this ending with 1. And now we're checking if new X is smaller than 0 or new X is greater or equal to self.width, or new Y is smaller than 0 or new Y is greater or equal to self.height. In this case, we are out of bounds, so we need to update the direction. Self.d is equal to self.d plus 1. And here we use modulo 4 because remember that the array for directions is a circular array. So if we add 1 and we are out of bounds, we want to end up at index 0. That's why we use this modulo. And now, given that we are updating the current direction, we need to update the new X and new y. So these are equal to what we did before. This is exactly the same, so we can copy this and paste it here. And after all of this, here we can say self.x and self.y are equal to new x and new y. Okay, now for this method, get position, we can just return an array with self.x and self.y. And finally, we have this method. For the direction, we say if self.d is equal to 0, we just return east. Else if self.d is equal to 1, here we need to return north. Else if self.d is equal to 2, we return west. And finally, else we return south. So this is the entire code. Now let's submit this and see if it works. As you can see, this works and it's efficient. Maybe you can make this slightly more efficient, but this is efficient enough, and it's efficient in terms of complexity also. So if you found this useful, please drop a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.